Welcome back to Podcast Voyager.
Welcome back.
We're back.
We're here with more Spectacular Spider-Man.
The spackled Spider-Man.
Oh, fuck. We're here with Season 1. Well, there's really only one season as far as I know. I don't think they ever got organized into...
What if they revive it, Riley?
I mean, I would love that. But we're on episode 2, labeled Interactions.
Interactions with whom?
We'll find out. We're going to start the episode in 3, 2, 1, play. Hopefully we'll be able to be more organized than last time.
Yeah.
Is that D. Bradley Baker?
It is.
Is that Tyler Connors? Is that Flash Thompson?
No, that's Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
Is Flash Thompson in this show?
He is. He showed up in the first episode.
Yeah, I
Just for
remember
a little
now.
bit. Is that with your guys' too?
Yeah.
That's
Our
weird.
controllers all just desynced from the Xbox.
What the fuck?
Alright.
That's so
Guys, there's a space-bound anomaly.
Riley, you hit the...
weird. That's so weird. Why do they all just disconnect?
That was weird.
Because your shit's gay.
No, you can't say that! It's Pride Month! Oh, okay, mine's back.
Yeah, your shit's gay, Riley, and good for it.
We're
for
happy
it.
for it. Alright.
Mine's still... You hit the button again.
Oh, god damn it. Sorry, I thought...
Oh, it's there.
Oh.
Okay.
There's so much context that Alex missed out on that I also missed
They're
out
talking
on.
about eels. It's cool.
Okay.
So
Are we going to see Max Dillon fall into a pool of eels and then turn into Electro?
Maybe.
That's so weird. I wonder why that happened.
Yeah. That never happened before either.
Is it about to, like... Are
Storm?
we about to have a
Just,
solar
radiation
radiation storm?
Yeah. Anyway, so I forgot to mention before, Lacey Chabert is the voice of Gwen. Oh, I'm getting a call.
First
Pause it.
recording session.
No, you're...
So much shit has gone wrong in the first, 2 minutes.
Yeah, we all silenced our phones, and as soon as we start recording, Alex's phone starts going off, even though he said he silenced it.
I thought I did. I had to go into the settings and actually, choose mute, because that's not a thing you can just do by pressing volume down anymore.
Yeah. All of the controllers desynced, and our headphones, we can't hear it because our headphones are connected to the controllers, so we couldn't hear anything. And now Riley has been summoned to do something. So, we're a 2-man squad for a little while.
Man, this intro's cool.
It is.
I'll get my clothes.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm
missing the intro!
Yo, Peter Parker.
Fuck!
I was just about to say, unfortunately, Riley's the guy who has all of the trivia and all that,
Yeah.
and
Not so much trivia, just voice stuff.
and me and Alex don't have that, so we're just gonna have to try and fill in empty space.
Okay, so Gwen Stacy is voiced by Lacey Chabert.
Yeah,
Yes.
who's that?
She also did the voice of Eliza Thornberry in the Wild Thornberrys cartoon.
The show that none of us watched.
I watched it.
Was it good?
It was enjoyable. Oh, did Max fall?
Yeah, he got by a piece of rogue electricity and then it yields.
Is he going to become Electro? Is that Max Dillon?
Yes.
Saw him in the intro. Does the intro spoil everything in every episode?
This
is one of those shows?
Not always.
Hmm.
So, yeah, but
I should probably stop leaning forward into the test came out.
no, it's good because it'll pick up the audio a little bit better. If you
Oh, I thought you meant that it was fun.
No, it's just the fact that it would come back and
If
forth.
you
We were
don't-
talking about recording stuff.
If
before
you
this.
don't lean into the microphone, how can we hear the buttery vocals?
But also earlier, Kate Susie, she was the voice of Miss Connors. She's known for voicing Lil and Phil in Rugrats.
Mm-hmm.
And,
any true
also-
Rugrat fan would know it's Phil and Lil, not Lil and Phil.
Also,
Yeah, I
she
haven't
voiced Cubert Farnsworth in Futurama.
Oh,
I see.
I was just about to say I haven't actually haven't ever seen Rugrats. I did, however, play the Rugrats PS1 game
It's stinky.
multiple times actually when I was a kid.
Peter, your shirt, no.
Peter, no. I like that Flash Thompson is like Spider-Man's biggest fan.
Oh yeah, like even back in the fucking early days, like Flash Thompson loves Spider-Man.
Well, remember in the Spider Slayer when the Spider Slayer caught Flash Thompson going to like a costume party as Spider-Man?
Was
Yeah.
Flash Thompson in the Amazing Spider-Man movies?
Yeah, he was. Remember, he would like him and
Evidently
he
not.
was a basketball player in that one, and like
He was the one who he was in one scene in the first movie and he like got into a fight with Peter, right?
yeah, because Peter got bit by the
Do you guys remember
spider.
when phones used to look like that? She had like one of the old like
Like a Motorola Sidekick?
yeah. Dude, I always when I was a kid, I was like, man, this is the coolest. I could do everything with that.
But yeah, actually, like one of the first appearances of like Flash being a fan of Spider-Man was, I think it was in the 3rd issue of the Amazing Spider-Man. He dresses up as Spider-Man, and Doctor Doom ends up thinking he's Spider-Man while he was looking for Spider-Man. I don't like Doctor Doom was looking for it.
I don't know either. That's what it was. I'm thinking of the Spider Slayer 1994 cartoon episode because that happens there.
Yes.
Yeah, I find it so funny how we went from watching Ben 10, the show that Riley knows a lot about, and me and Alex just kind of react to it, to watching Spider-Man, where
we all know a little of something.
Yeah, we're all somewhat knowledgeable. Me probably being the least, but still.
And I do like Electro's design. We'll see more of it later because it does.
He looks like the Riddler from the Batman.
He kind of does, actually. It's odd that he it's got a bit of retroactive coincidence. Also, look, that's Liz Allen.
Nice.
Is the teacher also voiced by D. Bradley Baker?
No, he's voiced by someone else.
Oh, she calls him Petey, just like in the comic book.
Yeah. Flash is an idiot, my dear.
Damn.
Ooh, she did a hair flick. Yeah, Liz Allen is voiced by Alana Eubank. And she's done voices for Coco, the movie. And she's also in the Euphoria TV series that premiered earlier, a couple years back on Max.
Yeah.
It's wild how wide Eddie is.
It makes sense though.
Yeah. Because they're going with kind of the ultimate Spider-Man influence, where Flash was a childhood friend of Peter's, but they've been friends the whole time rather
Eddie?
than Eddie, not Flash.
Literally just said Eddie's name.
He's been childhood friends with Peter the whole time, rather than Peter later finds out about Eddie while looking at tapes from when he was younger.
Man, I can't believe that our entire backlog is gone.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna redo Alien Force and maybe Race Against Time.
That's months of work gone.
Down the drain.
I mean, like, I guess it's not all bad, because there was recordings that we did that I wasn't super proud of. Like, I would kind of lament our Samurai Jack episodes a lot of the time in the...
He's got like a mask mouth hole.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if every time he talked it, like, flapped open and closed.
I don't even know if you'd see a coffee... Well, I mean, this is New York. I should be a little more aware of how coffee shops are literally bigger in New York sometimes. Every time I see
He was having
Peter's...
fun being with Liz? Maybe he was just joking. Maybe I'm dumb.
Yeah. I also love that Peter's like, Liz, you don't give a shit. I'm getting the fuck out of here, because if you do care, come talk to me. Like, he actually stands up for himself.
Yeah.
That was a good splorch
Yeah, I was about to
noise.
say it's very nice sports sound.
Man, Riley, is Rhino in this show?
He is.
Is Kraven the Hunter in this show? Are there any Spider-Man villains who I would expect to be in this show who aren't?
Is Shocker in the show?
Yes. We saw the oh damn it, the Ox and all those other guys. He's part of that group.
Is Carnage in this show?
Carnage is not in the show.
Oh,
didn't think so.
Man, Carnage is so cool though.
There are some videos here and there online. Hey, see, this is what I like about his design. They kind of reintroduced the way his like. Would you say it's like a star shape?
Yeah, like
mask?
the weird mask.
Yeah, it's not. I would say like the best interpretation I've seen is the way they did it in the No Way Home movie, but I like this design as well.
What's your beef, stranger?
I was lucky he had an odd number of blood objects.
And do you like that, like, usually with characters like Electro, he has to get rewritten a lot because his original interpretation is so camp.
Yeah.
Like, more than most other Spider-Man villains. And his design is always, like, hard to get down. Either you have him look just like the comic books, and it's, like, a bit odd, where it's hard to transition him into something that looks neat, or you have something that's really radical, like the way he looks in the Amazing Spider-Man series.
Yeah.
It seems to be kind of like a common thing with Electro, at least from the Spider-Man media that I've seen, where he, like... Obviously, it's a horrible accident where he, like, turns into Electro, and he kind of, accidentally becomes a villain.
Yeah, but at least in this show, it makes sense because he's got a lot of, like, emotional damage, because this was a literal, like, a rogue accident.
Yeah. It's not like in, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 when, like...
He, like...
Max Dillon is just, like...
a bumbling idiot and just falls into the tank of electric eels.
He's like Spider-Man's weird stalker, and he just kind of falls into a vat of eels and then gets mad that Spider-Man didn't save him or whatever.
Yeah, he didn't say happy birthday or whatever the fuck. I always like the constant combat that Peter has of wanting to do the right thing as Peter, but also Spider-Man. And see, even Peter's trying to give a second chance to Liz when he really couldn't have, or at least it's going to be harder to do that for Max.
Is Venom in this show?
Huh?
Is Venom in this show?
Yes.
Is it
Well,
going
Eddie's here, so.
I would say, is it going to be every bit as painful seeing Eddie turn into Venom as it was like watching Batman the Animated Series, seeing Harvey Dent go from being normal Harvey Dent to being Two-Face?
Yeah, I would say that actually that's a very good comparison to draw, because I would say that this show does it even better because they have so much to go off of in terms of interpretations and styles of Eddie Brock. Versus, like, they do a good job in BTAS, but there's only a total of, like, 2-3 episodes before they do the two-parter for Two-Face.
Oh, he's like in most of the episodes before he becomes Two-Face, though.
Yeah, it's a nice pace. But with this, there's a really good arc that Peter and Eddie have. I remember this is a really good scene coming up between Peter and Liz. I forgot that Connors has that robot hand. Usually it's just him with straight up the limb.
Yeah.
I just love that, like, Peter, they show in this show, and Josh King does a really good job of the delivery of showing how much Peter loves science and all like the nerdy stuff that usually some shows don't even bother.
You know, if I had a cool robot arm like Doc
Kurt?
Connors right now, I wouldn't even be worried about trying to get my real arm back. I'm like, cool
Right.
robot arm.
Yeah. Is it bad that as a kid I was like genuinely weighing the choice of like, man, if I could have like an awesome robot hand, would I want to replace my real hand with a robot hand voluntarily?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Even though, like, back what, like, you were...
I was like 10.
Yeah, back in 2012 or whatever.
Oh, because I remember I was like, we had like this science textbook we were using in my elementary school class. And there was like a picture of like a woman cutting an apple, and she had like a robot hand, and I'm like, that's a cool looking robot hand.
Yeah, and even
Wish
now,
I had
like,
a cool hand like that.
And now it's even more like we have even more advanced like robotics and like prosthetic limbs. Like, and wrapping it back around to the science of this episode, we just recently had that huge breakthrough where the guy who had his spine severed from one vertebrae to the other, he had like a Bluetooth connector hooked up to it, so he was actually able to walk again, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
I would say that, like, as much people want to harp about like how bad things might be, like, science is always evolving, and it's always amazing how much like technological advances we have had.
Yeah.
Like, every decade it gets more and more crazy, and there's some bad stuff that comes along with that, but I always try to focus on the good.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man! Did you hear that fucking pot breaking noise?
Yeah, it was a good pot breaking noise.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Whoa, did the screen glitch like that digitally?
Probably.
That's cool. So, if you guys want to listen to the background music for this right now, it should sound pretty familiar.
Are you saying, like...
In terms of...
Like, the group who did it is the same group who did something else that I know?
Yes. Well, it's a singular person as far as I'm aware.
Like, did they do another show that we watched?
Yes.
Do we watch it for the channel?
No, we just watched it on our own.
Is it the group that did Batman Beyond?
Yeah, Christopher Carter.
Okay.
Oh, that rules.
Which, yeah, there's another reason I love this show is because it's got a great, like, soundtrack. Some people say that the soundtrack's a little too similar to Batman Beyond, but I would say that Batman Beyond had more.
That's
like,
only a good thing.
But I will say Batman
Bro.
Beyond's techno sound was a little bit more in there. This is straight more of like a harder rock.
They should make a Spider-Man 2099 cartoon.
That's what I was just about to say.
The amount of times you see like awesome fan art of like Spider-Man 2099 and Batman Beyond together. It's
One of my
cool.
favorite tidbits of like trivia lore about 2099 is like, you know how, or like back in like 1962 with Amazing Fantasy 15, Spider-Man's costume was supposed to be black and red with like blue shading, but people thought it was blue and red, so they just made it blue and red.
Right.
That's literally the same thing happened with Spider-Man 2099. That costume was supposed to be black and red, but then the shading was blue and people just thought it was blue and red.
I think the blue and red works, but that's also because like the blue and red has always been what people think Spider-Man's colors are, so when it's like that, it's just great.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Spider-Man suits, do you guys know, there's this really good channel I know, it's a Spider-Man channel, it's called PSM, Probably Spider-Man. He's a well-known Spider-Man cosplayer.
Yeah.
And there was a secret suit that they were going to use for the design for Spider-Man's first appearance in Captain America Civil War.
Yeah. You're going to pull it up right now?
Huh?
You're going to pull it up?
Yeah.
And this show kind of rules, Riley.
Yeah, this show's rad.
Yeah, for some reason they just ended up covering up a lot of the suit later with CGI or alternate shots.
Mm-hmm.
trying to find a really good quality picture of it. So you guys do know like how the Civil War suit, it has the, and then later the Stark suit more or less is the same design where it's got those kind of black outlines around the red that people aren't always a huge fan of because
I think it's fine.
It's fine, but people look at it as a bit extra on what's needed for a Spider-Man design.
It's like the MCUification of Spider-Man's costume.
Yes, and we were talking about that outside of the podcast about how some MCU costumes are really good, but others are just kind of boring.
It's also not always MCU. Actually, a lot of it, or good chunk of it that I can think of, also is in like the live-action DC movies. To be fair, most
I have like Henry Cavill's Superman costume having all that like texturing to it when it really just needed to look like the Christopher Reeve costume.
Yeah, what's so wrong with having like a simple suit that's like vibrant and all that?
So this is how the regular Civil War suit looks.
Yeah, that's the.
And it's pretty good. I remember the first time we saw the trailer, like, oh, it looks great. It looks a lot like the Ditko suit. So this is what the original design was going to look like. So the spider's a little bit smaller, and the blues are actually closer to an indigo, like a darker black.
You mean like kind of like how the blues in like the Raimi suit are really like almost like a purpley blue?
Yes, and the now some of this is obviously rigged for CGI, but the black lines are actually smaller, and they actually I think look a lot better. They're not as stand-outish, and the I'm not sure if you can see, but the webbing is actually 3D, like the Raimi suit as well, which I do love.
That is cool.
Interesting. Also, I said this before last episode, but I do love how, like, visually, Peter looks like the 90s cartoon Peter.
Yes, it's similar, except he's got a little bit...
He's younger.
I feel like his hair... Yeah, he's younger, but he's got like, his hair a little bit more loose. The 90s Peter, like, you could tell he probably, like, gelled it up a little bit.
Well, yeah, it was the 90s.
Yeah.
I feel like, if done today, that... like, you know, the 94 series, Peter would have the same, like, mole that he's got.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a good little touch of character design. It makes him look more, like, identifiable.
Yeah.
Man, the show's really doing putting in the work, setting up characters that I don't want to see become the villains that I know they're going to become.
That's one of the greatest things about comic books in general.
Really makes you feel like Spider-Man.
They always do a good job where
it's so good.
And that's how they end every episode as far as I remember, where
that's so cool.
But good shows always set up characters to where you feel bad that they're the villains, but when they fight it's still entertaining because overall it's always a good
I don't know if you mentioned it, but
there was a guy in the credits named Sean, and then like his nickname was Cheeks. I didn't see what his last name was, but my God, what a name!
Is there something you wanted to bring up, Alex?
Yeah, let me see if it's. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm sure to someone worth bringing up, but the guy who voiced Elektra, I don't know if you brought that up, but he's Crispin Freeman.
I was about to bring it up right now, but you can go ahead.
Well, he's in a lot of different anime, a lot of things that are popular, like Initial D and Ghost in the Shell and stuff like that. Hellsing. Trying to find something that we would have seen because none of us really watch a lot of anime, so maybe in animation. Right. He's Roy Harper in Young Justice. I know we started watching that.
Yeah, that was about to say.
And he's Scott Lang in Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Oh yeah. Man. That's why I remember seeing him recently.
We should also watch Young Justice for the podcast.
I was thinking also.
I wouldn't mind starting it over.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes would be another good one. There's plenty of material to go with. It's just it's good. We love superheroes, we like comic books, but Ben 10's kind of that good combination where Ben 10 would feel right at home in a comic book universe like DC or more Marvel even. I think DC a little bit more, but still, I love how the world building in that show just feels like it could fit in any medium. I think the only medium they did some comics here and there.
Crispin Freeman was Sundowner in Metal Gear Rising.
Oh shit! I still need to play that game.
Game's hard.
But yeah, the world building is really good. They've only done a few comics here and there, and they haven't done any big video games. They've had a few here and there, but they were.
There's probably not going to be. I was reading some things. I wasn't totally listening. Sorry, but you were talking about Ben 10, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's probably not going to be a Ben 10 video game anytime soon.
Yeah, I think the last one was for the reboot cartoon.
The reboot.
Which, I mean, yeah, it's okay. I remember we watched one episode, the first episode, and it's like,
Did we record that?
No, we didn't. We just
why
watched
didn't
it
we
as far as I
record it?
know.
Oh, that would have been like... That would have been such a little treat to hear for the listeners at home to have to listen to, I think, primarily me complain about the remake for 11 minutes.
But yeah, I will say this episode was really fun. I like the way they handled Shocker. It was neat. Or not Shocker, Electro, my mistake. I like the way they handled Electro. Why are you in Indiana Jones?
Just that they have it.
Yeah. But I do like the way they handled Electro. I like the design. I like the way they reincorporated the Star Electro design.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the way that he has his helmet, I still like that too.
Yeah.
He's pretty sympathetic, and they do a little bit more with him later. But he's not one of the bigger enemies of the show, I will say. And I like Dylan, you said, they really are good at setting up more of Kurt Connor's backstory for being the Lizard.
That, but also, like, that kind of harkens back to what I mentioned about
with
Eddie. Well, I mean, like what I mentioned with Eddie Brock, how
Yeah.
they're like setting him up as a character that you
want to care about,
and enjoy, just so that you can relate to Peter that much more. Once, I'm assuming, Eddie becomes Venom and probably becomes kind of a bad guy.
Yeah. And overall, really good episode. And we got to mention the score by Christopher Carter is really great.
Does he do the score for the whole show?
Yes, I believe so. I don't think he did the intro necessarily. I think that was a separate band in general. But
either way,
really good.
Yeah.
So, you guys have any more comments?
Nope.
Well, if you guys want to, you can leave your comments down below. Feel free to like and subscribe. And you can go to the description to find our socials. And with that, see you guys next time. Signing off.